it's Teresa, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my January book haul. I know I technically already filmed and uploaded one in January, but that was kind of more of like a Christmas haul, just of books that I had gotten for Christmas or been gifted gift vouchers to buy for Christmas. Is that a sentence? I don't know. But today I'm mainly just gonna show you books that I just bought because I wanted them. There's still a few that were like delayed deliveries from, that sounds like I'm have given birth to someone. I'm giving birth to books, I wish. So these have just like taken a little while longer to get delivered, even though I ordered them for Christmas. Anyway, this intro is way too long. Let's talk about the books I bought, okay? That's why you're here for, right? So completely disregarding what I just said, the very first book is actually one that was physically gifted for Christmas and I just straight up forgot to show it in my last video. I don't know why. But that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I was given this book by my boyfriend's mom, which is really lovely of her, and I'm really excited to read this now. I've heard like mixed things about it. I know some people like, I mean, people in general have like specific issues with John Green in terms of his writing, and I've only ever read one book by him, which was Looking for Alaska, which I actually quite enjoyed. But I am excited to give it a try fairly soon because I do wanna like know what's up with the John Green hype as always. And it even has like, apparently it's like a limited edition and has a jacket poster, so I'm just gonna show that to you. Maybe our favorite quotations say more about us than about the stories and people we are quoting, which is a quote by John Green. That seems like some sort of Inception. But yeah, there's just a bunch of quotes. I don't know if you can probably see this, but there's a bunch of quotes and it's very orange. But here's a serious question. Does anyone use jacket posters? Like, would you put this on a wall instead of on your book? I probably wouldn't, but like, I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. Next, we're gonna head straight into some new releases. So I have 3 new releases for 2018. I think all of these, yeah, obviously came out in January, duh. I'm so smart today. The first 2 I've already talked about in my most anticipated releases for 2018, and I'm really glad to finally have them. And the first is Saga Volume 8 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I've yet to read it. I'm saving it for a moment where I feel like I'm desperately behind on my reading challenge and just like need a little push of motivation to like not feel as like bad about myself. And the second one is The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Massey. Oh, wait. The like cover is just peeking out behind the dust jacket, so I'm like very tempted to have a look. Oh my god. This book is so beautiful. Let's just take off the cover. This is what it looks like naked, and then end pages. I mean, what? The cover itself arguably could be better, but everything else I'm like, yes girl. The book is set in 1920s Bombay and it follows a woman who is one of the first female lawyers in India, I think, and she is taken on a case where like several recent widows have like left their inheritance to charity, and she's like worried like what is gonna happen with them, like how did this come about? That's really weird that they just like leave all their money to charity. So it sounds really fascinating. I'm so excited. I know very little about India, let alone 1920s Bombay, and I'm like here for it. I really want to read this very soon. I just need to be in a little bit more of like a thriller mystery type of mood again, which right now I'm just like hyped for fantasy like nothing else. So but this will be like one of the first books I will read once I get back into this like type of mood. And the final new release is one I hadn't even been planning on getting, but then I randomly saw that the hardcover wasn't that expensive considering it's a new release, and I just like thought I might as well give it a go. I don't know. This is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I know a lot of people are currently talking about it, and I'm hearing mainly positive reviews. I haven't looked into it too much though because I don't want to hear too much about it. From the synopsis, this book sounds very much like Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen, which is one of my favorite YA fantasies ever. So I'm just hoping it's gonna live up to that standard that I've set it, basically. It's about this girl whose parents get murdered, and then she and her sisters, I think, gets taken by the fairies to the fairy court. Honestly, that alone is literally the premise, not literally, but like close to the premise of Stolen Songbird, so we shall see. I don't know, I don't really read many fairy books besides that one, so I will see what I think about it. And that's it for the new releases. Everything else has been released for a while, but I'm so excited for all these books. I'm like, what was that? That was not an emotion. So anyway, I have 2 used books that I bought this month. The first is Viper, I can't speak. This is very difficult to pronounce. Let me tell you. Viper Wine by Hermione Eyre. And I bought this solely because of Sophie Carlon, who is responsible for many of my like weird book purchases. And by weird, I just mean like obscure, right? Like this book is quite obscure. I've never heard of it before and after she talked about it. This is set in the 17th century and it follows this woman called Venetia who is very vain and she wishes she would age naturally. No, wait. That's the exact opposite. Her husband wishes she would age naturally, but she discovers a potent and addictive elixir of youth, Viper Wine. And apparently this is based on a true story, so I'm like, what? I'm super excited to read this one, honestly. And the second used book is a very random purchase that I just like saw and thought it would be nice. This is The Strings of Murder by Oscar de Muriel, and it's set in Edinburgh in 1888. And it's just like a murder series. Next, I have another book that is in part motivated by the lofty Goodreads goal I set myself for 2018, which is 120 books, which, why did I do that? I don't know. But it is it's not Banana. It is Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto, which, Banana Yoshimoto is a very famous Japanese author, but I've never read anything by her. And like, I mean, her name alone should be like, get on that. This book in particular I've had my eye on for a while. First of all, this edition is everything. This is the Japanese characters for Kitchen, by the way, and I don't know, I just like love it. I know that like more of her books are published in this style, so if I like it, I want to get more by her. It talks about topics that are considered very taboo still in Japan, including transsexuals and things like that, so I really think that this is gonna be revelatory. I've used that word so much in recent videos. First I used it wrong and then I used it like I think correctly. I don't even know, but I like it, so I'm gonna go with it. The next book I got is a sequel to a book that I read in December of last year, and that is The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu. This is book 2 in the 3 Body Problem series, and as you can see, this is considerably longer than book 1. I am kind of apprehensive going into this because book 1 is very dense and like science heavy, and I enjoyed it a lot, but it is all of those things, and I don't know like if this is all science or if there's like plot in there as well. I don't know, but I definitely want to continue the series. I've heard some people say that the sequels are bad and that it literally stopped like midway through the second book and we're like, this is not for me, and other people have said the sequels are even better, so we shall see. The next book I am quite ashamed of not having read before, and I finally took the plunge and spent those like $7.99 that it took to get this paperback. And it is A Darker Shade of Magic by VE Schwab. I honestly thought that I might somehow convince myself to buy the hardcovers because they're beautiful, but they're also like 20 bucks each. And honestly, I made that mistake with Six of Crows because I got the duology in the hardcovers and beautiful. It's so expensive and I didn't like the series that much. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that again, and I'm just gonna get the inexpensive paperback and finally read this book and then see what I think of it. And honestly, I can always get the hardcovers, even though I probably won't anymore now because now I already have it in paperback. Anyway, I'm excited to finally read this. Then I have another first book in a series that I'm way late to the party for. And I only am getting this now because I had considered getting it sooner, like a few years ago, and then I've always like dismissed it. But now another book in the series is coming out or just came out, and I just like want to see what the hype is about. So I bought Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The 4th book in the series, or like the sequel trilogy or whatever, is coming out, or just came out again. It's called Iron Gold, and people are liking it. And again, I've heard mixed things about the Red Rising, so I want to see for myself what the hype is about and potentially join in or not. It's always an option as well. Another book I've been meaning to buy for a very long time and haven't gotten around to somehow until now is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I have heard this name said on YouTube, BookTube particularly, so many times that even though it is intimidating in its length and in the amount of consonants, I can say it in my sleep. And I honestly want to read her books like so badly, and I thought this would be a good place to start. I don't want to read her essays first because I just like want to see what her fiction is about. So I don't particularly know what this book is about. I just know that she's a highly acclaimed author. People love her writing, and I hope I do too. A few more books to go. The next one is very random, and I just bought it because reasons. Miss Frye Fisher Investigates by Carrie Greenwood. I was under the impression that the first book in this particular series was called something like Blue Cyanide or something like that. But apparently the title literally is Miss Frye Fisher Investigates. So this is clearly a crime mystery series, and I know that there is a Netflix show that follows, or like at least a show on Netflix, I don't know if it's a Netflix show, that follows the series, or like that's the film version of the series. Anyway, I don't know anything about this. I just know that people like it, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard anyone really talk about the books besides the one person on whose recommendation I bought it. So let me know if you've read these books and if you like them. I mean, they're very, very short. This is like not even 200 pages. So I don't know how much crime and like mystery and like actual suspense can you put in such a short book. We shall see. I never really buy classics because I still have some that I should read, but just like I'm so slow at reading classics. I just like do it every now and again. But I bought 2 this time, so that hopefully this will motivate me to read more. The first is The Dumb House by John Burnside. I really badly want to read this book because the premise sounds fucking creepy. This is, I guess, about this guy who hears about the experiment that has been actually performed in real life, where children are raised in complete silence. And I think they're even raised, I'm not sure if they're just raised in silence or like without touch and stuff like that, without like loving touch and just like necessary touch. I don't know, but it's about this guy that then tries to, I guess, recreate this experiment on his own children. Sounds like a very bad idea, to be honest. But again, it's a fairly short book considering it's a classic, and I mean, it's a modern classic, but still. And the second is one that I have seen so many people haul and talk about recently because this is a very special year for this book, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. As far as I know, this book was anonymously published on the 1st of January, 1818, so pretty much exactly 200 years ago. Like, Jesus, that is super scary. I don't know, like weird to think. But this is a book that I'm again ashamed I haven't read yet. I am super excited about it. It's supposedly like the first sci-fi novel ever written by a woman, which just sounds so cool. And I recently heard like I'm not sure if it's like true or just a rumor, but like the story behind how this was written, and it's somehow like she was at an orgy with like Lord Byron and some other people, and they were doing like a game where everybody was trying to write like creepy stories, and she wrote Frankenstein, and it was inspired by him like standing over her bed in the middle of the night. Like, I don't even know. Sounds fucking creepy. I don't know if it's true. I literally didn't do any more research into it than hearing it that one time, but I really want to read this. I know like the bare bones of the story, but nothing more than that, and I'm just so hyped for it. Like, ha! And this edition even isn't written in like too small a font, which I really appreciate. Because for most classics it takes you like 5 minutes to read one page, so this is gonna feel a little bit more like fast-paced regardless of the actual pace. And finally, one of the books I'm most excited about in general ever, and that is Arabella and the Battle of Venus by David de Levine, the sequel to Arabella of Mars, which I read last year, and it was one of my favorite books of the year. I loved it. It was so well done. It's such a well done YA that doesn't read like YA in like normal YA. I don't know. It's just so good. It has so many positive messages, and it's just so fun. And I cannot wait to read the sequel. I feel like I might reread the first book, but unlike many YA books, the font in this one is a little bit on the smaller side, and the pages are very thin, so it actually took me quite a while to read the first book, so I don't know if I want to really reread all of it, But regardless, I'm super excited to finally have the sequel, which came out in 2017, by the way. And those are all of the books that I recently bought. No, they're not. I still have some that are being delivered as we speak. Hopefully. They should be delivered soon. And then you probably will either see another haul in January, but most likely it'll be in February at some point when I've like gathered more books. I know I should stop buying books, but I literally physically can't. I physically can't. I'm reading so much right now. Like, I'm spending several hours a day reading, and every free minute basically I'm reading, and that just makes me more and more like craving more books. It's an issue. I feel like this should be like a diagnosable illness or something, like book buying addiction, or just like book addiction in general, because it's not just like the buying of them. I genuinely want to read all of these books, and I will. I don't know how, because I buy more books each month than I read, but I will eventually read them all. And then, oh my god, I sometimes feel like my life couldn't possibly be long enough for me to read all the books I want to read. Does anyone feel like that? I don't know. I'm weird. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you saw any books that you A, own and have read, and what you thought of them, B, don't own but would like to own, and C, books that you recently bought. Just let me know. Just let me know, whatever, actually. I'm happy about any comments. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to my videos. No, to my channel for more videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you very soon with another one. Have a lovely week. Bye!